go to our Facebook page.
Like a tree, a strong tree, reaching down, down, down. Solid on the earth, connected to the ground. I'll let the wild winds blow, let the storms rage through. I will bend and flow, rooted to the truth. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. Roots going down, immersing with the earth. Energy rise, I am rebirth. Life force flow and fill me up. Here and now I sing. Whoa, like a tree, a strong tree, reaching down, down, down. Solid on the earth, connected to the ground. I let the wild winds blow, let the storms rage through. I will bend and flow, rooted to the truth. Yeah, yeah, whoa, yeah, 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 whoa, yeah. Trunk so solidly flexible, etched by life so beautiful, in a balance between heaven and earth. Here and now I sing. Here and now, like a tree, a strong tree, reaching down, down, down. Solid on the earth, connected to the ground. I let the wild winds blow, let the storms rage through. I will bend and flow, rooted to the truth. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. Branches reaching toward the sun, gentle kisses from the one. Power of earth feeding fingers and toes. Here and now I sing. Here and now, like a tree, a strong tree, reaching down, down, down. Solid on the earth, connected to the ground. I'll let the wild winds blow, let the storms rage through. I will bend and flow, rooted to the truth. Yeah, yeah, let the wind flow, yeah, let the storm yeah, rage, yeah, let the rain fall, yeah, I will stand tall. Like a tree, a strong tree, reaching down, down, down. Solid on the earth, connected to the ground. Let the wild winds blow, the storms rage through. I will bend and flow, rooted to the truth. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, let the storm yeah, yeah, let the rain fall. Yeah, I will stand tall. Yeah, yeah, let the wind flow. Yeah, let the rain fall. Yeah, yeah, I will stand tall. Yeah, oh yeah.
Good morning, Unity of Payson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Try that again. Good morning, Unity of Payson.
Good morning.
I like that. Thank you. We're delighted that you're all with us, both you who are with us virtually and those who are here in person this morning. It's a beautiful day in Payson, if you're not here. And we are grateful to be together and to be able to share as we celebrate life, which is the theme for the month. As we come together, would you join me in an opening prayer? God of all goodness, let us have eyes that see that good always. Even when our situation may be difficult, let us see beyond. Let us see underneath the good that is the very nature of us and of all that is. So this morning, as we celebrate the good and the life, that wonderful power that is within us to vitalize, to energize, as we celebrate this, bring to us a special new sense of the divine expression that we are, each and every one of us. We're so grateful again for each one who has joined us this morning. And we say, so it is, and amen. So we have an opening song, and you're welcome to stand and go along with this one. I think it's also somewhat newer. Mark Stanton Welch, As If.
I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna work as if I don't need the money. Love as if I've never been hurt. Dance as if no one is watching. Sing as if I know I won't be heard. I have this moment to be the all I am. What's done is now behind me. I can feel myself expand. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's good. Did that wake you up?
Yeah.
So again, we would like to welcome all of you who are with us this morning. Specifically, I noticed that there are a few people that haven't been here in a while, and it's so good to see you. If you haven't had, I heard travel, I heard all sorts of other things, and we're glad you're here this morning. I also know that here in person, we have Jean visiting with us today. Leslie does some hiking with Jean, as I recall, and Jean is with us. So if you're here, say hello to her afterwards. And I look to those of you who are here with us virtually. And Tom, can you Can you give us a gallery view? Let's see if we can see. Is there anyone that's with us here virtually that's new, first or second time, and you want to make yourself known to us? I say just go ahead and unmute and speak out, and we will love to see you. There we see Barb Hindoff. Hi, Barb.
Hi.
I don't recognize you.
I'm down in Mesa.
Well, we don't care where you are. You can join us wherever you are. And we're delighted to have you with us here this morning. So if you're with us and you are not getting the newsletter that comes out every Monday morning, make sure to fill out a card there in the back with your email information on it so that we can make sure to get you that email. And Barb or anyone else that's online, if you're not getting the information about Unity of Payson, just go to our website, unityofpayson.org, and let us know your email so that we may put you on the list and let you know all of the great things that are happening at Unity of Payson. Again, welcome. We're so glad you're with us this morning. We have a affirmation, a welcome, a prayer. I don't know what it is, but all of the above that we say every time. So for those who are joining us for the first time, for those who haven't even found us yet, we say, and to each other, we love you, we bless you, we welcome you. So this morning, I thought of this when I first got up this morning. What am I grateful for? What immediately pops into my head? What am I grateful for? And so we take a time to give gratitudes here at Unity of Payson. We're glad for you, those of you who are with us, and how you extend your time, your talents, and your treasures to support this ministry. We're grateful for the events that we mentioned, a couple of them briefly that happened this last week. Morning Cafe, always at 9:30, Monday through Saturday. Qigong Sundays, and organic gardening whenever you can get down to Shanti Olmsted. A Course in Miracles, and the Book Circle and Healing Workshop. It was a jam-packed week, and we had some wonderful in our coming together for those events. So we are grateful for that, but I would like to extend it to those of you who are here and those of you who are online. What are you grateful for this morning? I've got a mic here. If you're here in person and you want to share, just let me know and I'll bring this mic and you can share it so that everybody can hear. Who's got a gratitude?
Neil, it's wifey.
Huh?
I wanted to share that Jim is grateful that he can hear the music. We could hear the tambourine too. Yay.
I'm grateful that we can hear everything. Go ahead.
I'm grateful for the heat.
Neil, Teresa is grateful for the book circle and new awakenings. We can't hear you out there. Is the mic on and does it have batteries?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I heard someone say they were grateful for something, but I don't know if they were muted. Maybe it was for the heat. I think it was for the heat.
Yeah.
So we're rejoining if all of you can. The internet left us for a moment.
Mm.
I don't need that one. I don't need two mics. I'm just going with one.
Did you hear what I said? We have some gratitudes virtually.
Okay, let's go back to gratitudes then. Virtual
All right.
gratitudes, please
We
go ahead.
have, Teresa, do you want to just say it?
Sure. I'm grateful for the new awakenings that are coming out because of Book Circle. And do you want to go ahead and say your gratitude for the heat? I don't know Jim's wife's name.
Sue,
Sue's grateful for
I'm
the,
grateful for heat.
there you go. Okay, thank you. Nice to see you, Sue.
More coming soon, more coming. Okay, anybody? I don't want to let anybody out. So again, we are grateful for all of the many blessings and even the difficult situations that grow us, that make us more into the real us, the real me, the real you. So we were talking about prayer and how unity is grounded in prayer and meditation. When you give us your prayer request, first thing that happens is it gets distributed to our prayer chaplains. And those prayer chaplains will daily take that request and lift you up, pray with you for that situation or that request that you have. And then after 30 days of doing that here at Unity Payson, we send it to Silent Unity. And at Silent Unity, there's a wonderful prayer chapel, and the walls are made so that all of those requests that come in from around the globe can be put within that wall and prayed for 24/7. There's always a prayer associate in that chapel with all of those requests that have come in. So if you do have that prayer request, speak to one of the prayer chaplains or email me, Neil, and it's NEAL, .unityofpayson@gmail.com. And if you'd like to be contacted again by a prayer chaplain, please leave your contact information so we make sure we have it, and we will be praying with you. There's great power in this kind of praying. Affirmative prayer, we talked about it, and we learned a little about that in our healing workshop this last week. So let's move on. The theme for this month, this is the last Sunday of the month, is life. Now, if you can see the theme, whether you're with us virtually or whether you're with us here in person, let's say that affirmation that's underneath the theme of life and say it together. So here we go. I claim divine vitality and am daily enlivened by spirit. I am life. Today's speaker, so participants, I'm going to make it into participants, not just speaker, are members of Unity of Payson. And so today we will have, Betty will be doing speaking, and Leslie is joining us with chimes that we can, it kind of dovetails and goes together with all that's happening here as we celebrate life. And a different service this morning on this fifth Sunday. So we are grateful for that. So at this point, we normally would read the daily word, but we've extended a little bit and we're calling it the metaphysical moment. And Betty's going to go ahead and do that, and then she will come right on into the message after that. And Leslie will be chiming in, so to speak, after that. So, Betty?
Nice fun. Literally chiming in. Okay, well, I found this and it fits perfectly with the theme because we're going to be talking about chakras and energy and being connected to the whole. And so this is titled Flowing. When your roots are receiving nourishment from the earth in the first chakra, your creative juices are flowing into the second. Your intentions are empowered in the third. Your heart is open and exchanging love with those around you in the fourth chakra. You are spontaneously expressing your highest self in the fifth. You are in touch with your inner voice in the sixth. Then energy moves into the crown chakra, and you remember your essential nature as an infinite and unbounded. The 1,000-petaled lotus flower unfolds, and you know yourself as a spiritual being temporarily localized to a body and mind. And that's a perfect segue. You know, this is actually sort of a dovetail onto the healing workshop we did last Sunday, where we were exploring sort of different ways of healing. And so obviously this can't be a whole workshop on chakras. So this is a little primer along with the wonderful chimes. And these are chakra chimes that are tuned to the frequencies of our different chakras. As opposed to the solfeggio, those are different frequencies. So first of all, who here likes music? Do you think of your body as an instrument? Some of you do. Some are like, not quite sure about that. So we are literally musical vibrational instruments. And we're going to explore this today with the help of Leslie. So thank you so very much for being here. Thank you, Leslie. So we've all heard that everything is vibration, including us, and that we are a collection of different frequencies that end up manifesting as our heart or as our liver, as our brains, and the totality of who we are. Science now knows that frequency and vibration creates geometry. Geometry comes together gravitationally and creates matter. And so that is, we are an expression of the vibrations within us. And the other thing that our body does is it acts as a speaker to the outside world of our very consciousness. And when I read that, I'm like, oh, that's a really great way to think of us carrying our consciousness around inside this body. So Tom, can you put up the first slide for me? So we actually have many bodies, 7 to be exact. We have our physical, our emotional, our mental, astral, etheric, and catheric, and they're all vibrational. We'll be focusing on the physical, but I wanted you to see this. This is how they're all stacked, sort of in rainbow colors. I have a couple friends that can spontaneously see auras. The majority of us can only see the little guy over here on the right. That's about what most of us can see. And all of these different levels of our vibrational bodies are connected to the 7 chakras. And that's why I wanted you to see this, that when we get our chakras in a line, our energy expands outward. You know, many of you know I have a new grandson who is absolutely glorious. And by the time he was about 2 or 3 years old, where they're really holding their eyes open and being able to stare at you, you know, like they look into your soul, I noticed that after he made contact and stared in my eyes for a while, he was scanning on the outside of me. And his eyes would just go up and around. And I know he was seeing this. I just know that we all come in with this ability to stay connected with the field of energy. So why should we even try to do this connecting to our chakras and everything? This allows us to be the bigger part of who we're meant to be. We end up feeling more alive, more centered, more peaceful, more in touch with our purpose, with the higher self. It's a great way to go into meditation, to hear those messages. So I think we've all heard the term chakras and maybe know some about them, especially if you've been to any of the other previous workshops. Today, we're going to do the overview. So first, I'm going to be introducing the chakras, and then Leslie will be chiming. I was first introduced to the idea of chakras back late 20s, early 30s was a real expansive time for me. Lots of meditation, and I found science of mind, and I was going through massage training. And it was in one of those workshops that I first felt a couple of them sort of pop open. And I was trembling and got very hot, and a surge of energy. And when that quieted down, I felt so much more alive and awake. And so I hope today will act as sort of a springboard for any of you that want to kind of look into this a little more deeply. So maybe the second slide.
Would we be able to see better with the lights out?
Perhaps we could see if I can see with the lights off.
Yes, that makes it much better.
Let's see if I can see. That's good enough. If not, I can wing it. So first, understand that the energy fields create our bodies, not the other way around. Our bodies don't create the energy fields. We interact, but the fields create us. And that comes from divine. And so as you can see, this is where the primary ones are located. You have lots more, but we're going to focus on these. So the first chakra, the root, is color red, and it vibrates to the note of C. Let's chime 3 times for that. So the focus of this one is that sense of belonging, of feeling really grounded, and of feeling accepted by your tribe. And I know most of us have had some early childhood wounds, and that a lot of us are still working with those issues. So as I go through these, I might mention, if you're having this, you might want to work on this chakra. And an affirmation that would help stabilize that chakra. There are lots of them, but just this one. I am stable, safe, and secure. And so the second chakra is the sacral chakra, sort of a red-orange color. And it resonates to the note D. This is one of our main creative centers. It is where we begin reaching out in childhood, creating friendships with other people, developing relationships, allowing ourselves to really express pleasure and fun, and our union with nature. And so if you're having any kind of issue in any of those areas, again, this could be a chakra that you might want to work on. We'll talk about that in just a second. So an affirmation for this one would be, I am open to others naturally. And well, let me show you that right now. Everybody's going to get a copy of this really beautiful chakra chart. If you've been to my workshops before, you probably already received a copy. I didn't want to hand it out first because we would all be looking at them, but they will be on the back table. And they go into a lot of detail about how if you think you're having an issue, these are some things that you can do to help you with that. So third one, solar plexus, yellow. And it vibrates to the note E. So this is mainly a focus of personal power, sort of your standing in society. It's also a lot of mental activity. So a lot of your intentions, your conscious intentions, come out of this sacral chakra. You feel them in other areas, but this is usually where they're kind of formed. And it creates an acceptance of oneself. So again, if you're having trouble in those areas, this might be one you want to work on, and you'll see on the chart. Affirmation might be, my personal power is growing stronger every day. And of course, the fourth chakra, heart. This is the transition between the lower three chakras are connected to the physical body, and the upper three are to spirit, and the heart is where it all comes together. So its color is green, and its note is F. So obviously this heart center, its main focus is unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, sharing. And an affirmation for this, I am an open channel for divine love. As we get closer, I can see you already becoming quiet. As we move into the meditation, it'll be I'll lead you into it, but then there's going to be a silent, just chime meditation. So be sure all your phones are silenced before then. And if you're online, be sure that you're muted. Okay, the fifth chakra, throat. Its color is blue. And its note is G. Again, this one is sort of obvious. This is an ability to speak your truth. This is the other center of creativity for you. As you literally create into your world, you call it into beingness. It's a site of creative expression and of a sense of independence. And an affirmation for this one, I express myself freely and easily. And now the brow chakra, indigo, and its note is A. So this is the seat of inner vision, our inside mind, and some people say Christ consciousness. As you raise your awareness, you step into a different level of being. And all of these chakras grow throughout our lifetime. They're for different stages of our lives. But we can work on opening them up more fully to have a fuller flow of energy. And its color is violet. Its note is B. This is where the awareness, the unity with all that is, omnipresence, to sit in that peaceful place, divine wisdom and purpose, I am one with God and all of creation. So an example of how to use this. So if you're having a challenge in a particular area, later on, you can refer to the little chart here. And this, along with meditation and Qigong and all the other things that we do, are tools to help you become aligned and allow that energy to flow easier, more completely. So let's say you have digestive problems. That would be under the sacral chakra here. And it has foods that you can eat, affirmations you can say, what the chakra crystals that you could use, and what gland in the endocrine system is controlled, and the node. So you kind of just look in your own body or in your own life, where am I sort of having help it be easier for you to shift, for you to allow issues to come up and just resolve, to dissolve. And in that chakra,
We can't hear them. I wonder if they can hear us.
I hear you.
We hear you.
That's it.
Well, we can just have our own little conversation here. I don't know if you know Betty, but I don't know if my sound is interrupting the service. So I better not talk right now.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
yes, anybody online, please mute, because we are going to go.
Betty, I must say that we can't hear anything anymore. Sorry.
Move into meditation.
You can hear thumbs up.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Once again, let's take a deep breath. And just allow your body to be supported by the chair as we all become quiet, silent. Let's place your feet on the floor. Just feel comfortable. And as we move forward, just allow the chimes to move through you. Allow the chimes, the vibrations to heal. Imagine a beautiful heated tub that will fill with warm water. It's easy to step into, and just lean back at just the right angle for you. The tub begins to fill with warm water. You feel it swirling around your feet, allowing the feet to relax and kind of expand. And now feel the water begin to move up your legs, swirling as it moves around your knees, relieving any kind of stiffness. I am letting go. The water continues to rise up your legs to your hips, and you find yourself letting out a sigh as you are soothed. I am rooted in life and in myself. I feel my creativity streaming through my body, soul, and mind. The warm water moves up your body, creating a blissful, floating feeling up to your heart. Feeling the warmth sink deeply into you. I accept myself completely. I am an open channel for divine love. The water continues to rise, swirl around your neck, and you just let it go. I freely express my thoughts and feelings. You notice the steam rising up over your face, your forehead, and over the top of your head. You are immersed in a floating, warm, safe feeling. I am perfectly attuned to my vision. I am one with spirit and all of creation. As we move into silence, allow yourself to go deeply within, to listen to your own voice and be open to receive whatever is there for you. And now quietly, deeply into the silence. Deep breath. Just be gentle with yourself as you invite yourself to come back. Because your eyes open doesn't mean that you're all the way back yet. You may need to sort of shift in your chair, and stretch your spine is always a good one to help you get back in your body. Maybe another deep breath. So I wish we could do a 45-minute meditation here. So this was an introduction to more tools. And I will have the charts in the back. And if we'd had time, I had one more slide. I was going to go through some of them. With the technical challenges, probably not so time-wise. So let's just all remember that we have these amazing vehicles, these instruments. We are made of the same chemicals that the stars are. Our chemistry birthed out of the explosion of stars. We are stardust incarnate. It is our birthright to shine just as brightly as they do. And so it is.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Leslie. We have a challenge of the day with technology, and internet has abandoned us somewhat at times, and that's created a few other wrinkles. Bear with us. We'll do the rest of the service without slides, so follow with me as I speak. Now's the time for our tithes and offerings, our gifts, that we give to support the ministry of Unity of Payson. Unity of Payson greatly appreciates all of your gifts, which go not only for our spiritual community here, but also extended out into the community at large. So we thank you in advance. If you're with us virtually, you can give by going to unityofpayson.org, and there'll be a donate button. So there you'll be able to make your contribution. And again, we appreciate that. I think that you remember, if you've been with us a few times, this very simple affirmation that we make as we bless those gifts that we're about to give. And we say, do you remember it? Freely we give and freely we receive. And we can't play, no music, so we'll do this in silence as well. And we'll spend just a moment for you to give your gift. The ushers will come and pass the basket here, and then we'll bless the offering afterwards. So if you'll come up and around here, we'll, Mary Ann and Charlotte, thank you for serving as our ushers. Come right up and we'll bless these gifts. So you may remember the dedication of the offering that we give every week. I'll say it and you chime in as, oh, I like that word, chime in. Chime in as we go along. We are grateful again for your gifts, and so we say, divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous, and we give thanks. So going ahead, next Sunday's speaker will be me. We've chosen the theme for the next month, so you'll have to come and get all the affirmations and all the good stuff's on the slides. We're affirming that that's going to be here next week. But the theme is connections. And we speak about connections. We'll be speaking about connections to the world, connections with one another, and connections with self as we go through the month. So we look forward to that particular theme and our exploration there. Okay, I do have the affirmation here, so I'm going to say that for you, so you get it it's in our order of service here. The affirmation for next month will be, I am one with all that is, and healthy connections with others, the divine, and myself are available to me. Once more, because you can't see it. I am one with all that is, and healthy connections with others, the divine, and myself are available to me. And the title for next week, In the World and of the World, will be the message that I will be sharing. So we move on to sharing of the announcements, and we'll do this briefly. You remember the regular events that we mentioned before, of course, morning coffee and Qigong Tai Chi with Teresa. Those are happening regularly. And I think that'll be enough of that, but we'll share with you the things that are happening specifically during this week. First, on Tuesday, as always, the first and third Tuesdays, we will have A Course in Miracles at 6 to 7:30 p.m. This is an online study. We have a wonderful core group, but we would invite you to come along on Zoom. Just go to unityofpayson.org and say, join on Zoom, and come and join us for that study. It's a discussion-oriented class and time together, so you'll have an opportunity to share yourself or ask your questions as we study that great spiritual text, A Course in Miracles, which has been very helpful to many of us. We have a continuation of the book circle, which is wonderful. If you've not had a chance and you'd like to sit in, I think, Teresa, you probably won't mind, if someone would just sit in to get an idea of what the book circle is all about. It'll be here in person, and it'll also be online. So this will be a hybrid experience. It is on Thursday at 1:30 to 2:45. And so we will look forward to seeing those of you who have registered and have done the work. There's a lot of work to be done. The book, again, if you haven't gotten it, you can have a chance to get it, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. A couple other things that I want to mention this morning. Number one, it's Mother's Day next week. Did everybody know that? Everybody register that? I sometimes forget. It's Mother's Day next week. And we have some jewelry that Unity Payson crafters have made. We've brought it out for this special occasion for mother or someone who is a mother or just somebody who would like to give a little something to. It's yours for a donation bucket is there as well, so that you can share this abundance with others in your life. So look at that on the table in the back, and as well, the bookshelf that's back there, our little library, that you can see if there's a book that you might like to take out. The instructions are there for taking out the book so we can register where it is, so we can come and get it when you forget to bring it back. One other thing that I would mention, many of you know about the kindness initiative we have going here. Kindness Works for All. There is a community kindness conversation this Wednesday. Just to let you know about that, it will be held at Grim Country Health Community Room, which